afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing Propagandacast. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, like Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to a 1 vs 1 own. Crossing in the woods. In the north, it's McBain, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Taking on the role here of the 6th Armour Division, tasked with breaking through this German-infested woods. Versus, in the south, insane Delirious, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, forming up the 15th Panzergrenadier Division, tasked with holding this stretch of woods, as there's no infantry division nearby to actually do the job. We got mechanized, we got lightning run, we got German infantry for Delirious with Panzergrenadier infantry versus McBain's infantry. Armour company and heavy cavalry with triple infantry. Double reasons up our way there from McBain, allowing him to seize more territory in the early game, just grab more of it. Interesting enough, no rifle company to say immediately synergize with it, so we'll have to see what it ends up with, but either way, he's intending to get more faster here versus his opponent. Delirious here with a Pioneer's MG42 sniper start there. So both players here going slightly off the beaten path in terms of the average openings. We'll have to see how this works out, because I don't think the other players expecting the other ones, I think, shall we say, will go off the rails a bit there. Wiring off here to deny this piece of cover to his armies. And the south point then be secured. Of course, this is also a pretty bold maneuver, the MG42 to an extent. Not moving it near the Pioneers or anything else, so aggressive, but a bit more of the careless potentially side the way. Again, the machine gun simply gets caught off guard and murdered. Sniper out there for Delirious. Pioneers moving up here to lay down some sandbags by the light cover here. Reassumes grabbing the northern fuel points. So McBain here is quickly grabbing a lot of territory, moving out aggressive. He's going to move to the MG42. Sniper following up, but Delirious is going to be slightly off path. And there you go, catches the reactions with MG42, quickly suppressing them with a hailstorm of bullets, threatening to snuff out their lives like candles in a storm that speaks German. The Hurricane Klaus. Rifleman moving up here on the flank of the MG42 sniper, of course, spotted, got a bit of kill there, so he can quickly react to this. I mean, really aggressive tactics here by Delirious, but also again high risk tactics. But so far, he seems to be able to actually handle it here. Rifleman from McBain moving up, trying to hunt down the sniper. How will McBain react to this kind of strategy? Because, I mean, early sniper plays from the Wehrmacht like this with the MG42 infantry is definitely unusual. You'll likely have to go for the lieutenant, maybe even push out and then try to counter then what Delirious is doing. Gonna be easy getting the jump here on the rifle, already suffered casualties and damage and forced across negative cover. I quickly pushed away and whoa, Jurgen just got flung off. Well, his corpse did technically. McBain there flooding a bit of resources. He's definitely got something in mind. He's going here for the fast take-up, very fast in fact. 500 manpower floating, so what is McBain thinking? I mean, it's not Armour Company and Assault Units, because we at least had a bunch of them out now, and actually I think perhaps heard Delirious in some nice ways. Of course, versus the sniper, the Assault Units are not very useful. Reason's actually managed to pin down the Pioneers where the M1 Carbines laying down a hailstorm of suppressive fire. Fun fact about the suppressive, or any unit that's pinned down, thing about suppression and pinned down is to an extent for a brief time they take less damage, but after a certain point the damage reduction bonus stops working, at which point they take full damage while suppressed / pinned down. So that's worth keeping in mind. Reasons and then went down. Bit of a slow retreat there from McBain. M20 on the way. This is going to try and counter the sniper with that one. It's going to be an interesting move there for Delirious. We got tech as well. McBain is still floating manpower. More rifling would be an idea. There we go. Returning up, he catches the Grenadiers here by the centre victory point. Eastern fuel pumping seized by the Grenadiers. Western one held here by the MG42. M20 almost down there by McBain. The utility car ready to show the Germans what utility truly means. Rifleman heading eastwards, and there we go. We got the M20 utility car out, immediately adding the armoured skirts. Very good. The M20 utility car was usually paired together with jeeps in tank destroyer battalions, where they would use to sort of scout ahead for the tank destroyers. So, little fun fact there. Rearson told here, but then before actually tries to go for the car point. Nice move there by McBain, but insane Delirious just a bit faster to actually react to it. Well, obviously, of course, if I can keep this up, sniper retreating. So far, then McBain is swinging the map here back against Delirious, despite his offbeat opening there. McBain shows Delirious he can also play offbeat. And there you go, catching the MG42 right as it said something. It's going to take long to, get anywhere going. And there you go, flanked here, rifleman ahead. He's likely not going to be able to wipe out the MG42, but he can do some quite heavy damage there. And certainly, I think, just threaten with wiping it. Although, who knows, there might be a shot here added. Particularly with no Grenadiers with Panzerfaust ready to sort of intercept. But in this case, though, pathing, I think, saves the MG42. Or maybe there's some other consideration for McBain. Either way, the MG42 escapes here. the wrath of the M20 utility car. Rather than need to retreat back here, troops reinforcing for McBain. As for how the M20 came about, it's basically just a Greyhound without the turret and some slight modifications. In fact, the Allies made a lot of vehicles by just removing the turret. Particularly the British did this a lot. Stuarts became Jackalopes, which is sort of like a small, light armoured personnel carrier. And, you know, they did it similarly, you know, with a bigger Kangaroo as examples. So, you know, some fun notes there. All the way M20 moving about, hit 20 kills, looking for that sniper, and there you go, catches the Delirious snipers out in the open. Delirious will move to intercept, but if he can take out the sniper with M20, it's good, should be worth taking up Panzerfaust. Can he though pull it off? Oh, close one here, but the sniper seems to be getting away here. Bit of bad luck, like to make a nice company up. Oh, crossing it through negative cover, like to make a nice company, spotted and done, and gets the sniper. Veterans 1, 3 kills. He might be able to Panzerfaust it again, but he can't get the two out there fast enough. Although with 2 Grenadiers and Panzerfaust, he should have a chance to take out the M20. Popping out the crew here. Saving the crew and the bazooka. M20 goes down, but still, he got the sniper and he saved the crew. So not too bad of a trait there for McBain. 2-2 is on the way there for Delirious. What will McBain do now? Mines, who knows? Either way, he's getting good control here versus Delirious and the 15th Panzer Grenadiers. Back here, nothing further going on there for Delirious. We got Pioneers M40 counter-attacking into McBain. His crew holding out behind the burning wreckage of the M20, but that can't last forever. And the 2-2 is mobilised for Delirious as well. Like to punch his wagon. Ambulance away there for McBain. No sign of doctrine there for either side as of yet. 2-2 moving westwards. Aggressively seeking out fresh prey. McBain's rifle on the west suddenly feel the heat of the 2-2. Also got the captain out here, so we got lieutenant and captain out here for McBain. Certainly begs the question, what is exactly playing? I mean, lieutenant, captain, and since it's also gone for the M20, meaning a mechanized command post there, could possibly mean the heavy cavalry stalled into Pershings here versus Delirious. That'd certainly be my first guess. Up close here, the captain though is doing some damage to the 2-2, but it's not going to be enough, I think. Here in the east, reactions right alongside the lieutenant with Delirious's stalwart defense. Grenadier squad number 3 almost down there for Delirious to make up for the loss of the sniper, yes. Still, McBain remains in strong and ardent control of the map here. Almost got 3 victory points versus none for Delirious. Both fuel points, both, almost, and not quite both munitions points. He's got most of the other points. He's just getting so much more munitions and fuel than his opponent. In fact, he's getting 3 times as much fuel than Delirious. He's going to be able to push out tanks very fast. In fact, he's pushing straight for the light tanks. So McBain, instead of trying to push for medium fast, he's just trying to push from off his advantage. Now there's Delirious, which if done correctly, of course it's very strong and could win in the fight very fast. So it's going to come down here to Delirious pulling off some strong counter pushes to regain as much map as fast as possible, but also prepare for the oncoming onslaught. And he's actually going to be quite vulnerable to the Stuart having no anti-tank weapons. The closest he can muster is essentially the 2-2 and some Panzerfaust. And like, if he can play the 2-2 well enough, he can take down the Stuart with a bit of Panzerfaust support, but it's going to be pretty risky and pretty tricky. Grenadier saying Norfolk, Pack 40 on the way for Delirious to help deal with Stuart. Was more or less anticipated. MG4 sending up the 2-2 halfway fixed up. There's been caught here with the MG4 Veterans 1 gain, 2-2 firing at the Stuart light tank. Up north, Grenadiers are pushed back by a big push there from McBain. Once more, Delirious and the 15th Panzer Grenadier lines are looking to collapse faster than something that collapses very fast. I suppose public trust in the British Conservative Party at about now. Anyways, Delirious and Stuart, they're pushing back German forces entirely. The Pack 40 has arrived. The Panzerabwehrkanone 40. Grenadiers reinforced, or MG42 being reinforced, healed. 2-2 need repairs again up north. Grenadiers finding around the fuel point very briefly before being routed as well here by McBain. And to tank on the way there, he's obviously anticipating armour at some point. Even Delirious wants to be ready with it ahead of time. But again, it's starting to give him a feeling he's going to try and stall here for the Pershing, since he's going for, you know, rather this sort of strategy. Though, of course, he could go for it now and get out some Rangers as well, which would give him a very strong infantry edge as well. For now, though, Delirious seems to be switching westwards, though with some forces being deployed eastwards as he stall McBain as he makes his push westwards. I think that's all tactically very sound. I mean, rather than attacking into where most of McBain's forces are and encounter a lot of resistance, maybe not gain any ground, he could also try and strike westwards to where he's reasonably sure there's not a lot, and then make good ground, force the opponent to attack into him. This is how I think would say the better idea here. In this case, the Grenadiers in the east are simply a diversion to keep McBain's focus, you know, a bit more on the east as he then makes the big push westwards, I think. Overall, tactically again, sound. Some players again will just keep attacking into where the opponent is, you know, where they're strongest, rather than trying to look where they aren't, and you just make swift gains there instead with, you know, minimal casualties. So reasonably good play there. He's moving up towards the centre, I think, to try and then draw him up from the east towards, you know, towards the west. In which case again he attacks through the forces. He's either way, sensible play there, but Delirious. Sensible play, very good. Back here, healing reinforcement. We'll obviously have Delirious takes up what he goes for. I mean, Panther or some storms from German infantry I think could help out Delirious a bunch. As opposed to the longer the fight goes on and he doesn't choose a doctrine, Lightning Wall looks more likely, similarly like how with McBain. Heavy cavalry is down to look very likely, so this could end up being a heavy tank battle, we'll see. Steward fixed up, grab the point here with the MG42, very good. Some of these are being pursued by the riflemen. Two being fixed up. They go up and they're getting hammered by the autocannon. 2-2s there. Grenadiers nearby as well. We can now see again how McBain, instead of just waiting for Delirious to attack into him, now has to attack into Delirious anyways. And with this, Delirious can of course try and set up better positions to defend from. So this is working out, I think, a bit better for Delirious rather than again simply attacking up where here. Still, I'd love to see some doctrinal choices. Grenadiers moving up, he might try and flank McBain's forces here. We got 50 coming, 40 of McBain. Victory point on the west ceased, grabbing the fuel point as well. Down to 324 though versus McBain's 500. Shots fired here, and we got another sniper up for Delirious. He is actually going for another sniper at this stage. An interesting choice. Possibly because he wants snipers. It might also be a consideration for the support that McBain is actually bringing out. Either way though, second sniper out here for Delirious, definitely not what I expect to see. Though with the M20 out of the commit picture, he might just be able to get that one to live a bit longer. Back here, healing enforcement repairs. Should probably take up, shouldn't bring out some armor here versus McBain in the longer run. Grenadiers are fighting versus riflemen. Light machine guns versus just M1 Garands. Grenadiers should have an upper hand unless McBain brings in more forces with more guns. Noting that McBain is actually floating a lot of munitions, could consider weapon rack here. A bunch of BARs would make him a much more formidable opponent for Delirious to deal with. I'll wait seconds now out here for Delirious and the 15th Panzer Grenadiers. MG42 they're defending, but without anti-tank weapons, it's quite vulnerable here to the Stuart. Troops here hold it by the sniper. Bravo squad went down here. Very nice work there by Delirious. Bit of a blow there to McBain. There we go, full retreat here from the west. Delirious won the engagement. Meanwhile, McBain's forces remain a bit static here in the centre, forming up a defensive strong point, but only works if Delirious actually tries to find around it, otherwise it's kind of pointless. And so far Delirious seems very keen on not wasting time on that. No take up yet there for Delirious, still no docking from either side. 300 points left here for Delirious, in fact 298. 2 to defend the calf point. Take up there further from McBain has gone for all three structures, very good. Still no sign of any upgrades or anything like that. Could maybe help him you spend some old munitions. Heavy cavalry infantry would give him access to mines, plus in case of infantry, light machine guns, so that could be an idea. Pushing up these now again, once McBain is drawn to the west of the centre, these is now open. So Delirious, I would say, overall came out with a good strategic play of the map here against McBain, avoiding just pointless attritional warfare, which tends to be one of the Wehrmacht's biggest dangers. Like, if it falls into sort of an attritional style of warfare, it can be hurt a lot because its squads aren't quite built for that due to being just 4 men. So you have to be a lot more flexible and aggressive, which kind of, you know, goes against the whole idea of you sort of Wehrmacht, you know, the late game defensive faction, but that's how it actually goes. So you got to be sort of much more smart in how you engage your opponent. That's currently what Delirious, I would say, is doing quite well. And certainly any defense you can, of course, has to be executed a lot more flexibly and mobily than you would normally figure. You can't figure you'd have static defenses, but that's really not the sort of defensive fighting that excels from. Pack 40 being attacked by the Lieutenant. Bad spot there for Delirious, really. And artillery raining down the MD42 for the Major. Got the Major, though, but could end up losing the machine gun here, though, to McBain, and in fact almost does. A really close shave there for Delirious. He's also finally taking up there, very good. Could get up this Pomoko fast. Or he could get a bit nuts and try and take a hit, but he gets the Lieutenant as well, so McBain here seeing a bit of a drain there to his officers. Leaving him just with a captain now to keep the entire show running for now.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Sherman on the way there from McBain. Still no sign of a doctrine here. Pack 40 number 2 for Delirious. Certainly indicating he's expecting to get hit by tanks. But also he might be playing here for Lightning 1, the Tiger tank, except again he tagged up, so I don't know. Maybe he's actually going to go for tier 4 and a heavy Panther core with Panthers instead. I mean, those situations a Panther can be quite helpful to, shall we say, regain momentum. But we'll have to see what he ends up with. What the pack there with a sniper, good work. Up north, Stewart here, catching the Grenadiers by the eastern field point. Slowly approaching the 20-minute mark, and neither side has really committed to a doctrine. That's a bit of a shame. Rifleman was the in before 3 kills, virtually 2, tearing through the armies. Gunning them down mercilessly. Back here, troops healing, reinforcing. Grenadiers versus Stewart and the Sherman in the east. Here in the center victory point. Rifleman routed. Quiet, very quiet in some ways. McBain once more getting control of the map. Still no doctrine, and really at this stage you feel like she's just gone for something, because all of the three with doctrines one way or the other, and the way to lay down mines and dig in, making it much harder for Insane Delirious to get back onto the map. But he's just not quite doing it, and that is a bit of a shame there. Bit of an oversight, if you will. And McBain is still also just not using his munitions a lot. Delirious here remains a bit mum with the resources. No further sign of anything. He's got the second battle phase, but he's not doing anything with it. You go for tier 4, battle phase 3 or tier 4. You could build the support core, but just nothing's quite happening at the moment. He does have the resources to go either direction, so I wish Delirious would do something there soon. Germany caught by the Pack 40 without him support. The Sherman's not going to get much farther. Stewart though is raiding the base here. Support core finally going for the Delirious. It's not going to be a tier 4 move there. Would have been interesting, but I can certainly understand Delirious going for the heavy pen of the support core instead. Nine kills on the sniper. Pack 40 from the Stewart. He almost taking out here as he attacks the base and barely saves the Stewart there. Almost got the medic bunker there. Grenadiers who routed, but still got the import from a strong defensive nucleus here in the west, alongside the Grenadiers and the 222. 14 kills on that one, very nice. Finally, incentive, we got the Stewart rushing in. They need to be careful though. Right in front of the Pack 40, number 2. Oh, they're actually the same Pack 40, but right here in this case. Ooh. Need to get the Stewart out of there. He's not moving. Oh, he's moving. Good. Returning him back to grab the 5th cover that Delirious' sniper cleared out in cold blood. Delirious can go straight for the Panther 4 here. Could also theoretically consider Sturmgeschütz, but I think Delirious is going to go for Panther 4s. Yup, Panzer 4 seemed overall the more logical choice, fixing up the Stewart here. And back here we got troops healing reinforcing, we got weapon racks finally happening from McBain. Bit late, and we also got the doctrinal choice for Delirious. It is indeed the Lightning War. I mean, at this stage it kind of was the Cruiser the only obvious choice. Opening up for a lot of doctrinal abilities. We'll have to make use of any of them. Panther halfway down here from McBain. Sherman moving in there. 3 kills so far. Great into the Pack 40s and positive Panther as well, which could threaten to knock out the Sherman. And another unit wiped out here from McBain. He is taking some heavy casualties here versus Delirious and the German army. McBain definitely should be careful about suffering 2 heavy losses here, and that anti-tank is about to get destroyed here by Delirious' anti-tank gun. And the Panther will arrive to dealing with the rifle need to retreat now. And there you go, anti-tank rifle grenade. He might be able to take out the 2-2. And there goes Stewart, arrives to in fact finish off the job. Still, Stewart ends up taking quite a beating here from Delirious' anti-tank defenses, and it finally goes down, leaving McBain just with artillery, calling in a heavy artillery to try and disrupt Delirious' center. As he finally goes for dogs, and there's Armour. Whoa, direct hit on the anti-tank gun. We'll have to see if the artillery can actually completely destroy it. or if Delirious will be able to recruit the pack. That tree took quite a hit there and just slightly wiggled a bit there. Anyways, victory points wise 185 versus McBain's 460. Those barrages last quite a bit of while there. Almost the direct hit in the pack 40 and taking it out. And there you go, the pack is entirely destroyed. Almost a direct hit here, at least a very close hit. Finished off the pack 40, ensuring that Delirious could not recruit it. Finding the west here as McBain's attack straight to Delirious' defensive line. Machine guns and whatnot just hammering away at the advancing army. Sniper there joining in the fun. Sherman pushed back already. Sniper with 16 kills, closing him at 2. Pack 4 there being assaulted by the rifleman. In the centre here, Gunners versus the advancing Reasons and the vehicle crew in the east. Bit of a push as well by Delirious. Gunners moves up to the east, realising what's more that is actually able to be seized there. So good play there by Delirious. McBain he's struggling I think a bit more to maintain momentum now. And we got a bulldozer German. He's going to try and blast his way through Delirious' infantry and support weapons. An interesting move there by McBain. We'll have to see how this works out. But certainly the bulldozer German can soak up a few hits and well, deliver them to the infantry. Okay, troops healing and enforcing, and we got another MG42 plus more pioneers here for Delirious. Overall good decision there. Go Delirious taking direct hit from the Sherman, almost wiped out. At least very low on health. Victory points was 171 versus 454. Second Delirious squad there's going into the Sherman. 50 cover would be a good idea here. Jurgen dead. Other Sherman rolling through here. Looking for easy targets which to blow apart, and there go direct hit on the MG42. That's going to get pushed away. So right now Delirious is losing most of the map. Push for the western victory points plus the centre, and McBain should really get the bleed back here on Delirious. There you go. Pack 40 under, ready to fight from the German or the American armour. Delirious pushing it on fire from the Shermans. Noting no 50 caliber here on the bulldozer Sherman. Should consider that. We go 50 caliber joining in. Delirious almost wiped out here. Panther with Pioneer MD4 to support, going to move up for the western victory point to defend that one. Central 50 caliber there routed. Directed here on the captain here by the Panzer IV. Not direct, but a hit, a shot fine anyways. Moving here eastwards. Rifleman managed to cut off Delirious' fuel once more. Will he go for another Panzer IV, but now trying to stall straight for the Tiger tank? We'll have to see what Delirious ends up with. I think a direct Tiger stall would certainly be a bit risky here versus McBain. Then again, perhaps not too much. We'll have to see how the fight progresses. McBain though really needs, I think, more infantry. In that regard, he's a bit short compared to his opponent, who's got at least 3 grenadier squads. And theoretically could always just add more infantry to make things more miserable here for his opponent. And he's almost been taken up with the Shermans though. Could we see a wipe here? It's going to be close. Panzer IV rolling in. Sherman's almost got the Grenadier squad. He down to just a single man. And there you go. Wipe, leaving Delirious just with 2 Grenadier squads. Panzer IV moves up. And a smoke screen to cover the retreat. Nice work there by McBain. Panzer IV moves in. Air support called in here. Nice move, plus the Pack 40 flanking from the other side, catching here McBain's armour in a deadly crossfire, which could risk threatening to take out his tanks if he's not careful. Bulldozer Sherman also equipped, but it's taking too much fire here from the Pack 40 and could likely go down. There you go. Bulldozer Sherman down. Not the best available there for McBain. A nice tactical win there for Delirious. We could very well, I think, see him actually pull off a Tiger stall here versus his opponent. Going to use moving towards the centre. Scott on the way for McBain. An interesting choice for that, now considering there's still the enemy Panzer IV on the field. You'd figure maybe an M10 or more regular Shermans or tank, Jackson tank destroyer, but for the reason McBain ends up with the Scott now. I'm not entirely convinced that is the best move here. There you go. Going to do single minor casualties here from the Sherman and the Scott combo. McBain still shot on infantry. Admittedly, so is Delirious now as well. And he's actually floating a lot of manpower. A few added Pentagon leaders I think could do Delirious a lot of good. So we'll have to see how that ends up. Moving westwards now. Anti-tank following up here from McBain to replace the one lost and just add more anti-tank firepower that way. Ooh, Scott sort of hit, but at the same time didn't hit the machine gun crew. Second shot though really does the job. They almost takes out the machine crew entirely. And White, though we got no gun in squad for Delirious, very good. Meanwhile, McBain is set to replace his losses, but he should at least be able to, I think, somewhat compensate by gaining that interview footage to turn against his opponent. So nice work there, nice work. Of course, still got the sniper now with the 21 kills and vets only 2. Nice work there by Delirious, who's also getting very, very close to the Tiger tank here. Sherman eastwards, unsupported. Pretty risky here, to be honest, by McBain. I can understand why he's doing. Of course, he wants to put as much pressure on Delirious as possible, but he should be careful not to overextend his tanks into a situation where they could possibly be ambushed and taken out in short order by Delirious. In particular, McBain at this point should start to have the sinking feeling that his opponent's going for a Tiger tank, and he's going to have a bit of a rough time countering it if he loses anything more that could actually even remotely damage the Tiger tank. There goes Sherman extended here versus the Panther 4. Panther 4 gets the first hit, rather pushing the advantage here towards the Panther 4. And now with the arm re-exposed here to the Panther 4, the Sherman's got in a further bad spot. Here we got the antenna moving up. Also noting he's firing high explosive rounds, he's not firing armor piercing rounds. Brings moving up there, bazookas. Nope, he's got them researched, but he's not going to pop them up on them, I think. And the thing setting up, it's already on health here, and there you go, White with the Panther 4. Not a good development there for McBain, not a good development. Delirious about to hit here with the Tiger tank. Grierson's White, just the crew the anti-tank gun. There you go, could take out the Panther 4 maybe. Tiger tank out though. Panther 4 down, anti-tank gun cleared out here by the Gunnery and sniping up here for the center. Nice work there by Delirious. Good push. You're seeing him try and set up here to deal with it, but it may not be quite enough here. May not be quite enough. Cap moving in here. And the Tiger tank has been mobilized here for Delirious. And the 15th Panzer gun it is. So right now McBain's situation is looking a bit rougher there. Not, of course, it's all game over, but things are not getting easier for him. He's still a bit short on infantry. His opponent overall has a lot more stuff going on him, particularly in terms of support weapons. And he's got a Tiger tank, and McBain's not got, I think, a sizable selection of counters to it at the moment. So we'll struggle a bit against it. And particularly intense and actually engaging it head on, which he definitely should be avoiding for now.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Fight for Eastern Point, MG42 versus Pioneers. 50 caliber tank through the unfortunate German Truppen. 162, those 378, and that's probably one of the McBain's remaining biggest advantage. That's the victory point advantage, so theoretically he still has a chance of winning through that one, but beyond that, odds are not improving, I would say, for McBain. Not improving. Not completely, of course, a total loss, but it's starting to look just a bit weak. Titan pushing back the captain in these two. We got the Sherman moving in here. Veteran 2. Not bad. Could flank the M4 to take out here in the centre. Pack forward the quick to react here to McBain's armoured flank. Very good. Plenty of mouth being further out than McBain. Additional infantry, I think, would be a very solid choice. On the west side here, machine gun holding off against the Tiger tank, but then second support. Taking the Tiger tank almost out here, impressively enough, but there you go. Hazard's about to go down here in the face of the Tiger tank. Oh, close one there. Lost half the machine gun crew here as the entire thing rumbles down. Anti-tank is also pushed back, saving the Tiger tank. Just in time. Again, the lack of infantry support here to back up the centre tank weapons, I think, is a bit of a problem there for McBain. And you really should be going for more rifle, at least some assault engineers. And lost the machine gun crew here. 50 couple seized now by the German army. That's a bad development there for McBain. A great one for Delirious. Machine gun sitting up in the east, but getting caught here by Grenadiers and Pioneers already. Pioneers shredded here out in the open. Almost got both fuel points again. Still flooding a lot of manpower. I'm not entirely sure what McBain here is planning. I'm guessing a Jackson tank destroyer, but we could definitely stand to spend some of his manpower and infantry meanwhile. There you go, Jackson on the way. He's easily got resources for a rifle squad or an assault engineer squad. Even a lieutenant right now could easily also just be called in, but he definitely should be going for something here.
Tank destroyer is ready for orders.
Tank destroyer out there for McBain. That should give him some much needed punch here versus the Tiger tank. But McBain is still crucially short in infantry. Critically so. Needs to pick armor boom here, Sherman. Absolute fire opening up in the Grenadiers and the Pack 40. Good friends to take them out here, and if you get the Pack 40 out of the hands of Delirious and into his own hands, that'll help a lot versus the Tiger tank. There we go, wiped him in fact. Another Pack 40 is on the way for Delirious. Oh, he's destroying, he doesn't even think he can grab it or doesn't want it. Either way though, he is wrecking it instead of seizing it. And has almost pulled it off as well. There you go, Pack 40 down. Somebody's moving up here till the fire raining down. There we go, nice hit from the Scot. 8 kills so far. 9 kills, slowly approaching Virtue 2. Very good here for the Scot, very good. And we got fresh air support in from Delirious. The Luftwaffe is once more summoned forth through desperate haggling and bargaining with Goering to provide some sort of air support here against the American armour. Scott managed to dodge all of it. Impressive enough there for McBain. Nothing further going on in McBain's base. He would soon go for another Panther. Well, you go for Osvins or Stugs, you could, I suppose, try and take up for Panthers to back up the Tiger tank, but something should be happening soon there, I think. And finally, McBain is going for more infantry. Rather late there. Rather late. Sniper gains the ace level here. But yeah, takes a nasty hit from McBain's MG42. Which in return then takes a hit from Delirious' MG42, which is ace level itself. McBain, he looks like he might be drawn into a fighting center there. Oh! Wipes Delirious' ace machine gun crew. Very good there by McBain, but now he's fighting right in front of the Pack 40 as the Tiger tank was in there as well. He got the super fire on it, but there goes Jackson's already down to half health, and the Tiger has not even suffered any critical damage. McBain, he needs to be careful. And the West 5th Cavalry, they're holding off the Captain quite nicely. Continuing up here to center against the Tiger tank and a large number of Grenadiers. We're down to 292 versus 162. Delirious is catching up here with McBain. He is making him feel the pain. McBain. Anyways, Scott flying away there, the advancing Grenadiers. Another unit wiped out somewhere. Here, find the advancing Grenadiers. Tiger moves up, and there you go. Machine gun crew is snuffed out. Their lives ended. Sherman is ace level. Very good work there by McBain. 24 kills on it. Solid work, solid work. But he is surely steadily losing ground to Delirious, is following up with the Stuke to back up his Tiger tank. I'd say a very solid choice there. So what will McBain do and what can he do here to try and turn the situation around? I mean, right now, Delirious is a very strong center, so I think the obvious choice if McBain is not to attack into it, but try and outmaneuver Delirious, looks at him elsewhere and drain them out, catch some of his units off guard, wipe them, and that way I think trying to somehow reclaim some sort of sense of equilibrium between the two sides. But for now, McBain, if he keeps up with the current tactics, he's going to end up killing himself because he's just draining himself down without really achieving any notable damage on Delirious, which is not really healthy. There you go, he's attacking into these. Very good, very good. That's exactly what he needs to be doing. And committing to double Scots. He really wants Delirious infantry dead. Probably also the Pack 40. Almost got a Grenadier squad dead. Very close to dying out. We got a slow move here from Delirious to react to this. Stug, Sniper, Pack, Grenadiers, and the Tiger Tank all ready to intercept McBain's attack. And there you go, rifling straight ahead into the gun line of Delirious and the 15th Panzer Grenadiers. Scots bombarding. Stug moves ahead. Sniper retreats under heavy fire. There you go, direct hit on the Sturmgeschütz. Double shots from the Scots on the Tiger Tank. None of the shot merely make any impression. Infantry wiped out there from McBain. Things are not looking good here once more. He lingered for too long, and already now Delicious using his Delirious. Did I call him Delicious? Oh wait, Delirious is looking to crumble him with his larger forces now. Strike using his strength there. Sherman flanking up. Jackson getting from the front, but the situation is deteriorating fast. He got the Tiger Tank down to half health. The Suga though fires raining down to Pack fire, Stug fire, just all kinds of fire here. Air support called in as well. Here could destroy all of McBain's armored forces. 8 Sherman almost taken out here, and the 8 Sherman is cooked up like a goose. No chance of survival there. Pioneers in the fire from the Scots. Riflemen reinforced, being trained here from McBain. It's a bit of a dangerous situation here for him. Bit of a dangerous situation. McBain's got 1 victory point, he's got the fuel pump, he's got no connection. Right now Delirious is controlling, I think, most of the crucial points on the map. And McBain, I think, has rather unfortunate squandered his forces somewhat here versus Delirious, which is certainly not helpful. Tiger Tank is down to half health, but does McBain have a way to actually finish it off? Does he have it? I mean, now he's barely got any troops left. He's got a Jackson to Scots. In theory, he can do some damage, but in particular on a map like Crossroads, which is rather small, I would say narrow in a lot of ways, the situation becomes a lot harder for McBain, I think, to really effectuate any sort of decisive flanking here versus Delirious. I think this would really be the one thing that could maybe win in the game. Directed here on the Jackson by the Pack 40. Another hit there, half health. Scots moving eastwards, going here for the Eastern Victory Point. He's down to 148 plus 162 with Delirious, so Delirious is very much now the one in command there, the one in charge. Hitting the Western Field Point. Goodness, getting shot at. Routed. Captain here is looking at the Eastern Sniper on the west, and M10 tank destroyer now from McBain. That is a rather peculiar choice this late into the game. And he's lost another rifle squad. I mean, he's got next to infantry now, ready to carry his armor forwards, whereas Delirious has plenty of infantry and snipers, machine guns, packs, and pioneers. So McBain here, I mean, he's certainly not giving up for now, but the odds are not in his favour. They are not with him. So, Veteran 2 Scott, Veterans 1 Scott, Jackson there, good to go. M10 almost good to go. More rifling out the McBain finally. He's down to 95 points. He's making a swing into the east again. Can he somehow outmaneuver McBain? Oh, Delirious. Can he somehow catch him off guard? I don't know. Scots are spearheading for some reason. Rounds in the Grenadiers here. Gets a single kill and then gets double Panzerfausted. Stug, Tiger moving in. Directed here on the Tiger tank. One Scot, they're about to go down. Jackson taking him hits. We've got armor piercing rounds out here from the Jackson. But 8 rounds. Jackson down here. Delirious is going straight for McBain like a hot knife through butter. Tiger tank blitzing here. Stu providing covering fire. Scott almost down. Pack 40 down. Jackson down. And with that, we got GG here. McBain is down for the count. A victory for the fatherland. A victory for Germany. A brutal fight right here on crossing in the woods, and then the Delirious pulled through despite a good strong start from McBain. I feel like he maybe did it a bit too around long there in the mid-tier. Should have just taken that faster, but also should have gone for doctrine faster and use his munitions better for mines and other things. Basically, McBain, I feel like, failed to exploit his advantage when he had it, allowing Delirious to come back into that. At that stage, McBain's force composition began getting, shall we say, out of tilt, and just further sort of dragged him down into the mud, into the blood. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You all are a wonderful audience, and hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.